This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back. Good to have you here. If you found us, probably a really good chance you were searching for interior design, or maybe thinking about making some modifications to your living space, even your workspace. One thing that is vitally important, and we kind of overlook it, we take it for granted, but it takes the most beating out of everything, and that is the flooring. What's out there now? What's going on in terms of durability? How do you make a decision between this hardwood floor, maybe that carpeting and all of that? We're going to jump into that today. She does wonderful work. I love going on her website and just looking at some of the gallery pictures. She is a fantastic interior designer. Diane Rosen is back with us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and always a pleasure to speak with you.
Likewise, learned so much, and you brought this to the party today, and I kind of overlook it. I don't even think about the flooring and what is going on there when you consider everything that goes on your flooring, wheels on chairs, feet. I got currently in my place with all the snow and everything, I've got like a haze of salt, and I vacuum, I mop all the time, but I can't imagine what that's actually doing. But all the other stuff, I think we really take it for granted. So where should we start with flooring today? What are you feeling?
Well, just kind of an update. What's the latest trend? And talking about flooring, we pretty much ignore it until we really need to fix it or repair it or work on it. But what's back is still more of talking about wood, first of all.
Okay.
If you are having to rework, maybe you're building your home, deciding what areas you're going to need and what you like the most, starting with wood. Always a wonderful product because it will last forever. In my city, homes, many homes are way over 100 years old, and the wood floors are still awesome. All you have to do is take care of them periodically. And in today's style and venue of looking at floors, a wider plank is still quite popular, rather than the 3.5 to 2.5, which was traditional forever. A wider plank, what does it do? It actually will open up your room visually. It will give you a bigger dimension, also a little more on the contemporary side. Doesn't have to stay that way, but in the grand scheme of things, a little bit wider plank, maybe 5. I've seen them stretch as much as 6-inch wide planks, can really determine the flavor of the room. And make it bigger.
I never thought about that. And I've got, I don't have any carpeting where I am. And I have laminate, but it's just like you said, it's wider. It was recently done. Recent, when I say that, I want to say maybe 3 years, maybe 3.5. I remember, and by the way, even when I was growing up, and that house wasn't 100 years old, but I remember my mom refinishing all the floors. It was real wood. And when it was done, polyurethane and all of that, after it was all sanded down and the smell went away from the polyurethane, it looked fantastic. It really did. I remember when Pergo was this big thing and exciting, and oh my gosh, you have these laminates and everything. Let's talk about laminates right now. That's not real wood, but what is out there? What can you tell us?
Oh, multiple choice. It's the selection is huge, and LVT, luxury vinyl tile, is what has been. It's a lot more economical than wood. Hardwood, but you can get the same effect. It can last longer. It's less expensive. It's perfect if you have a lot of animals. and assorted children and husbands. But in scratching and doing different, living every day, a laminate will hold up wonderfully well for you. And again, you can have a look just like wood, and you can
Yes.
have it in the same width. You can do a narrow width up to a 5 or 6 inch width. It's a plank. They are fitted in together, solid, and it's it's a great choice. It's a lot more economical for you, and will last up to. They usually give them a 10 to 15 year, depending on your product, of a warranty, or 3-year warranty, and then a continuation. Should last you for 15, 20 years.
So many choices. What is trending now in terms of color? Are we getting back to actual wood look?
Yes.
Because gray had its, mine are gray right now, like a lighter gray, and I like the contemporary look, and I scaled back, so I go for more of a minimalistic kind of feel to things. So that kind of works for me, but I'm wondering if that's still trending, that gray look, or are we turning the car and we're coming right back to the wood look?
Coming right back.
Wow.
Going into browns, beiges, taupes,
Yeah.
still hang in there. But the beauty of a natural wood is the grain. And what it's the effect comfort level. I always go back to a comfort level of what you want to achieve. And of course, your mainstays are oak, usually white oak, walnut, hickory, maple. They all have different grains to them. So they'll all give you a look, quote unquote, to overset and establish the room. And one tip I wanted to add on to that, if you're able to refinish, or you're just putting in the wood floor, you can really define the stain. And I often suggest literally doing several different stain colors. On a white oak is great because you can really define the colors you want. A red oak will obviously be deeper to begin with, but hickory is strong and beautiful all by itself. But you can define what you want before it actually gets put down and installed.
How would you make that decision? All right, here I am, maybe renovating, building new, whatever it might be. I got to change the flooring. We're gonna update, or you have to make some decisions. I don't know whether to go with carpeting. Wood itself, real wood, it's going to be pricey. So that your budget will help you with that choice. But if it's laminates, carpeting, laminate, how do you make that decision?
Again, it's how are you going to use the room?
Okay.
Very often, a main great room, family room, laminate or hardwood is a wonderful choice. Bedrooms, it's personal choice all the time. Bedrooms, mostly carpet. Carpet because it's a softer touch. Usually you have your shoes off, getting out of bed or getting into bed, just trying to relax. A lot of times, a carpet and the plush carpets, what can be done that's another open-ended. It's like fabric. It's endless on colors and choices. And if we're just briefly talking about carpet, get a good pad. You can even get it. You can even get a very reasonably priced carpet, but get a 1/2 inch, used to be a 5/8 inch pad that will last, and that will last for years for you. If you skimp on the pad, you'll be surprised after several years on the same path that you walk into the room, or the same treading shoes, and multiple people using it. It's the pad that's going to wear out first.
Wow. We don't think of that. And out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, the carpet's going to be fine, except that it's going to start dipping and kind of creaking on you. But it's a thought.
100%. And again, it's like, well, I got to cut back a little bit. Nobody's going to see the padding. Well, how important could that be? Padding is padding. No, it makes a difference.
It does.
Especially in the high traffic area. Let's focus on carpeting. So the different types, what's trending now? Are we still low pile, still a thing? Don't tell me shag is coming back.
It's still Berber. Berber is great, still great in a living room, in any room really, and where there's high traffic. It's just such a very tight weave that it can handle all kinds of traffic and pets and.
And you know what? Let's focus for Berber for just a moment. Where I lived previously, I sold that house a couple of years ago, and there was Berber in the family room, certainly the basement, and I gotta tell you, it took a beating, and just even the way the weave and it hides things. There were times where there could have been a spill or an issue with something like that. And I'm going to tell you, I just got down on my hands and knees, got a scissor and cut out just on the top fibers.
Okay.
And you can't even tell the difference. Nobody would have any idea of, and I forget what it was. It's either a spill or maybe it was a hot iron or something like that burned it and it was all, looked kind of nasty. Little trim, can't even see it. You can't. Yeah. Amazing.
Berber is a mainstay for family rooms, playrooms, just something where there's serious high traffic and assorted pets, that kind of thing. So, and then you've got your plush, you have your various levels of a plush carpet, and that just is another effect for the room. And they're beautiful. Color is endless. You can get, but here's a thought that is updated. It's been updated for several years, certified. It used to be it's about the glue that's holding the carpet together underneath. And you're looking at the backing of it, and it is non-toxic, low or no VOC, volatile organic chemical backing. Years ago, if you had asthma or any of the children were really, or yourself, just felt like you always had the sniffles or maybe a dull headache or something, a lot of it was that glue that was holding that carpet together. And that off gases, it continues to. You could own it for 30 years. It's still off gassing. Fortunately, and the good news is that we have various companies have changed that and really put a non-toxic, low VOC glue to support that carpet, which is tremendously more helpful, more sustainable, and you won't have any serious off-gassing.
What's your personal pick? Let's say we're redoing Diane's place, and what would you choose? And I'm going to say here, budget is not a factor, but maybe we should factor out wood because that's in a whole different category.
Yes and no, really. If I were to do a laminate, I would do a luxury vinyl tile that looks just like wood, very sustainable. All of the product is when you can see that sustainable sign on the backing of a sample board, it's certified, and it's a lot of it's recycled. So it should hold up wonderfully for you. On my own personal choice, I would always go for wood, a solid wood. And I love walnut. Walnut has a wonderful grain to it. It's very textured and very smooth. But hickory, white oak, you just maintain it, and there's not a whole lot to maintain. Literally, as I said earlier, homes that we have in the city that are way over 100 years old, the floors are great. Just maintenance.
I just had a flash in my mind, and the floors that I referred to in my place, it's a laminate. It's better quality one. It's okay. However, home office, I'm noticing because of the wheels on my chair, it's creating an issue with the on the corner of one of the laminates. So piece of advice, if you have wheels on something and you use it a lot, put down a chair pad or something, piece of plexiglass. They make them, and I had it in my previous place and I had carpeting, and I didn't even think of doing it here, but it's taken a beating. I'm starting to see some wear.
It's going to take a beating. Yeah. And that's exactly in my office. I have a very large piece of, I'd say you could use it in your car as a vehicle to, wheel back and forth and not completely mess up my, destroy my carpet.
Yeah. And, back to the glue for a second, because I just said you got some memories here too. That really does constitute the quality, because have you ever seen this on the edge of carpeting? If it's not a quality carpet and a good glue, preferably one that is sustainable, you could just pull a fiber forever. I mean, you shouldn't be able to do that if it's glued tightly and correct, which I would imagine it's a better quality carpet would have that.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you thoroughly. I mean, once again, it's where you're going to use it. Usually your bedrooms or office space or something that, maybe it's just you using it, or you want a comfort level. And it always goes back to your living space, what you use most.
So we haven't talked about tile, and that's part of it. Where should we start on tile? There's so much to go there.
Oh my gosh. That is endless. And once again, what's most popular we're going back to where we were 30 years ago, but large square tiles, say you're going to do it and put it in your bathroom floor, or maybe even your kitchen floor. Tile is great in the kitchen. Wider planks, they are no longer the tiny square 6x6 or 8x8, but what's still very popular are almost 14 by 12 planks, tile pieces that really run smooth across a kitchen floor, a bathroom floor. It's again about what style you're after and what you the overall effect that you want to create. I've even just put marble, tiny octagon shape. They're no more than 5 inches octagon shape in a small bathroom, and the effect is terrific. So
what about quality
choices
in tile? You have marble, you have ceramic. Thoughts on that in terms of the quality of the tile, and I guess also the grout. You got to consider that as well too, right?
Grout is a big deal, but types of tile, it's how you're going to use it. Is it going to be on your shower wall? Is it going to be on your floor? There's different ceramic. I don't have all the details and the percentages and all that stuff, but it's what's nice today. If you just walked into a showroom, they're defined for you more, for best and better use. Good, better, or best use, floor, walls, whatever you want to put together. So I use that as my marker. I don't have a straight definition of percentage to give you, but grout is huge. It needs to complement. It can contrast, but it needs to work with the entire color scheme of the room.
So I just got a flashback here, want to share in the house I'm referring to. They redid the kitchen and they used, and I'm not sure what type of material for the kitchen floor, tile, but it was porous and not very durable. Like if you drop something on it, you got a chip there. I don't know why they use it. I wish I could remember the name of it. But it was a definite challenge. And there was one point where something dropped and there was a kind of a divot in it. But because of the pattern, I was able to use, don't laugh, certain type of glue. I just put glue and filled it in. And because the tile was like a whitish gray and it had different patterns in there. You couldn't, once I kind of messed with it and got it just right, you couldn't even tell. So I saved that one. But got to be careful with what you're using in the room that it's in. This tile did not belong in a kitchen. I don't know why it was selected.
Well, once again, when you work with someone such as myself, I can guide you
Yes.
to where's this going to be put? How are you going to use it? Is it the busiest room in the house, which is usually the kitchen and the bathroom? And let's keep it holding together for as long as you need it and want it. Tile is a great resource and endless too. I mean, there's just how many shades, colors, types. So it all goes on.
But you're 100% right, and I'm going to say with pretty strong certainty that the family that redid the kitchen and other rooms, they did not work with anybody. They just went to a big box store and said, "Oh, that's really pretty. Okay, let me put that down." Had no idea what they were buying, and after a couple of years, you could have challenges. And there was even a crack in one of the tiles, not the one I referred to. There was another area that had to let that go because look at what's involved there to pull that tile up and collateral damage to other ones and all of that. You really need to know what you're doing. And to your point, Diane, what room it's going in, the kind of traffic it's going to see.
Absolutely. It's there's grades of tile, just as there are grades of carpet and grades of wood.
Sure.
And most people simply don't know. And that's where the challenge comes in. And I have not, I use big box stores for a lot of things, but then again, I know what I'm after. I know what I need to buy. In a room that's seldom used, I have no problem going to big box store for carpet. I still look for the certified forest recycled carpet, which most of them carry. Most of the big boxes stores do carry. You kind of have to look for it though. And get a decent pad for the carpet. So you really don't have to spend a whole lot of money.
Well, here's the thing. Not taken away from anybody working in any store, but they're there to do their job. Their job isn't to hear your entire story. It's to tell you where that is, aisle A10. That's it. Yeah. You as a designer, you're getting the full story. Okay. What's this room going to be used for? Give me some scenarios of who might be coming over, events that you may, on and on and on and on, not just the floor, but the entire picture. Mm-hmm. And I got to believe that's how you direct somebody based on the information you get. You go to a store and say, "Hi, I'm looking for some tile for a kitchen. I want something pretty with a pattern in it." Yeah, try that one over there. They don't know the full story. That's the important part here.
No. And the grade of product is huge.
Yeah.
Tile's a composition, unless you're buying marble, which is solid, but or granite, which is kind of a tough call. But you really have to know what you're buying. Once again, it's sort of like we talked about furniture. It all can look good, but it all has to do what you want.
I just had a flash in my mind. What you just said, composite. It's like mostly everything we buy, we're buying a mutt. The purebred is the marble and the granite, and you're paying for that. Just like if you bought a purebred dog, horse. The other things are much. You never know what you're getting. So you got to make the right choice based on the information that you have and what you're using it for. Great conversation, Diane. How do we find you?
Well, on my website, which is DianeRosenInteriors.com, and always willing to answer some questions and help somebody out.
Beautiful. And can be done for anybody virtually anywhere with today's technology. Thank you for today. I really appreciate it. Learned a lot.
Okay. Always good to talk with you.
Likewise.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.